Custer, and this is Jennie Moench, and we're happy to welcome you to the Creative Alliance Showcase, probably on FlintUnderground.org, or if you're lucky, on television, Comcast Channel 17. Jennie is a local author, painter, organizer, videographer, web designer. She's all around a cool person. I myself am a poet. I try to do other things here and there. Today, we would like to welcome everybody that hasn't seen the show before. We do kind of a thing where we show a local town and kind of give exposure where exposure is due, so you'll enjoy that. If you're currently watching us on Channel 17 Public Access, know that you can also see this show as well as longer versions of everything that we do show on here on FlintUnderground.org. That site has other events and Flint shows, including the collab night that we do every month at Good Beats Cafe, the Art Walk, which is a big hit downtown. You did the Fire and Ice Festival, right?
Yeah, that's on there.
Yeah, that was earlier this month. Very cool little event. Some of the new festivals are popping off, and Jennie's going to continue to cover that throughout the summer, so it's always worth checking out if you really want to know what's going on in Flint.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, if you want to really know what's going on in Flint, quit reading the newspapers and watching all the negative stuff, and go to FlintUnderground.org, and you will see exactly what we do here in the artist community.
You won't be disappointed, I don't think. Or maybe you will be, but at least you'll know a little bit what's going on.
You'll know, no, you won't be disappointed when you come, because you'll know exactly what's going to happen. Because
right.
You know that is a very, very real representation. Flint, an art walk night, that's every second Friday. And then also Flint, do you want to talk about Cool Cities now? You guys want to jump into that, or you want to talk about?
Yeah, you want to do it real quick, just let people know what the Creative Alliance is. This is the Creative Alliance Showcase here. So the Creative Alliance, if you don't know, is a group of artists and activists. We are painters, poets, organizers, dancers, actors, models, photographers, filmmakers, writers, DJs, musicians, designers, comedians, and performers. And any other creative thing you can think of, throw in there. Our mission is to organize events and activities to support art, culture, and education in our community. We want to encourage an atmosphere that makes people proud to live in Flint. If this sounds like an organization that you'd be interested in joining, we meet at Churchill's on Saginaw Street every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. They're all free meetings. They're kind of ways for us to come together and organize new events.
Be around like-minded people.
Yeah, for sure.
Great.
And the Creative Alliance is made of members just like you, so if you came to a meeting, you very well could, get your own event going, maybe get on the board if you really wanted to really be active.
Really, we need
Lots of opportunities right now. And then we also have a monthly collab night in lieu of our third Wednesday of the month meeting. We actually meet at Good Beats Cafe in Carriagetown on Grand Traverse Avenue and First Avenue, I believe it is. And that's from 7 to 10. That's a free event. It's open canvas. You can come paint, open stage, you can juggle, you can do poetry, act, whatever you want to
Didn't
do.
you do Shakespeare before?
Shakespeare, folk
Jugglers,
musicians, tappers. Yeah, whatever you can imagine, we'll take it on the stage. It's a very friendly, loving
And we
atmosphere.
videotape that too. So if you want to get yourself videotaped so you can see what you look like, a lot of people don't have the access to that. You can come and you will be videotaped as long as you sign on a little waiver, and then you'll also be on television, Public Access Channel 17.
Yeah, right.
Mondays at 6 o'clock. So you would get to
And if you're interested in more information or you want to become a member of the CA, you can get a hold of Jennie on Facebook. She'll keep you in the loop. Her email is jenny63005778@yahoo.com, also right here on the screen. And remember that anyone is welcome to these meetings. We want you to come out, we want to hear your ideas, we want to show you what we're doing downtown.
and it does have nothing to do with your level of expertise. I mean, if you're a new painter, an old painter, or whatever, but we're all just artists. We get together and we talk. It's great.
Speaking of downtown stuff, how about Cool City a little bit? Yeah.
Well, in March 22nd, there is going to be a Cool Cities art auction. That will be, there'll be 4 venues. That will be GFAC, that will be Buckham Fine Arts Gallery. Creative Alliance will be at the Churchill's on Saginaw Street. And then also Farmers Market, Art at the Market. Those people will be, like, I keep wanting to say the Capitol building, but I'm not sure. You're going to be right in that area, though, on that side of the street. I'm sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool thing. And we do this every year downtown. It's kind of a fundraiser for all the major art organizations.
And each organization gets the money that they make by the things that they sell.
And also, is there a ticket sale component for the organizations?
Right. It's $30. Well, actually, it's $40. It's $30. It's $30 for a ticket, unless you buy it in advance, which you can buy from Creative Alliance. And then it would only be $25. But that would give you access to all of the venues. That would give you food, because outdoors at all of them, alcohol, and entertainment. And then there would, of course, also be, it's actually a silent auction, so you just walk around at your own pace. Your ticket stub is actually your bid number. When you come into each venue, you just sign in so that we know who you are and what your bid number is, and then you just walk around and bid on stuff.
And I think that where you first put your ticket or where you buy your ticket from, that money goes to that organization.
Yes,
so we would
that's why.
encourage everyone to stop by Churchill's first, seeing as we're also one of the first to close. It makes sense to me that you guys want to support a grassroots organization. We're the one to do it. So come on out to Churchill's. The event is from 5 to 10.
And we're having a gypsy wagon. Is what, I don't know.
What's a gypsy wagon?
Okay, and we call it the fish bowl, which is on the outside.
Yeah, it's like the overhanging windows at Churchill's.
Yeah.
So
So it's inside Churchill's when you first get in there. We're going to have readers, Reiki, and massage. And you can get like mini versions or a full length, whatever, version
Gypsy
from these.
wagon.
Yeah, from what somebody
So you
inside.
get your chakras in line with the Reiki. You can get your future fortunes read through the tarot and massage therapy. Just chill out, I imagine.
Yeah, and then they have the party. That money also goes to Creative Alliance. So that's another way that we do a little fundraising, and they're making fun for the people coming in too.
Sounds like a worthwhile event. And then you guys got a lot of art that's going to be in the other room.
Right, and we need art. So if you would like to donate art, then whatever is made from that art, then we would, money that would go towards Creative Alliance. But also, if you give us a $50, something worth $50, that would give you a ticket, so you have a free ticket to go to the event.
Oh, so I can donate something worth $50 or more for the auction at the Creative Alliance venue, and you get a free ticket for
And
that.
you would get a ticket for that.
Okay, and they can get a hold of you on email with that, or?
Right, they get email or come to a meeting, because you need to bring your piece in anyway, so just come to a meeting. It's a lot of fun. Meetings aren't that,
Not that terrible. Pretty
especially
quick.
collab nights. Collab night ones are
And
always.
it's at a bar, so if you want to have a drink and an art bite, that's cool too sometimes.
Okay.
But today we got a really good show for you. Our first guest is going to be photographer Linda Huston. Houston, excuse me. Who just purchased a photo spot downtown, just trying to make a thing out of it, so we'll check
And
it out.
photography on Court Street.
Yeah, it's a nice little spot. We also have musicians, Sweet Willie Tea, which if you ever go to any of the art walks, he's a one-man band that's always out there in front of the churches, putting on a pretty good show.
Did you read his bio?
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, he's played with some famous people too.
Yeah, it says he plays all sorts of instruments, and so
Oh,
he's just always filled
yeah.
in.
I mean, I'm anxious to talk to him now. I mean, I was
Maybe more
interested.
so, right?
Well, I was interested because he was always playing music at the art walk, and he always got the little kids dancing, and it was just so much fun. It was great, and I enjoyed that so much. Is why I asked him to be on the show, and then I find out that he got a real
Professional.
yeah, real interesting person.
So before we get to those really interesting guests, we also have a live cam, right?
Right.
Now, who's that with this week?
Yep. We got a camera right now at the FIA at the FIA art department.
In the art school?
Art school, there we go.
Cool.
Because I know that used to be part of, what was it, Mont College or University
Yeah,
of
Mont
Michigan?
used to do this
Mont,
stuff,
okay,
right.
and then it was credited classes. Well, it's not anymore. Anybody can take classes there. And they offer some really interesting things. One of the things they offer is throwing pottery on a pottery wheel. And so we have Guy Adamac, who is a potter, and he is going to demonstrate that. And then at the end, I believe we're going to talk with Jeff Garrett, who is the director of the education, and he's going to talk about the classes and things that are available there.
Well, that sounds really cool. You want to just jump into that real quick, and then we'll come
Yeah,
back here?
let's go. Let's
All right, let's go to the live cam. Let's see what guys do.
Okay. And here we are with Guy Adamac. And what are you going to do for us today?
Well, I'm going to show you the basic way how pots are made on the potter's wheel, called throwing. So we're going to throw a bowl, and maybe a couple other things if we have time, just to give you a basic idea of what it looks like. Many people have never seen a pot being made. The first time you see it, it's usually fascinating because it looks like magic. The pot just kind of happens.
Great.
I've been doing this for a long time. Beginners always say, well, it's common for people to come in and then be surprised at how difficult it is. I figure it's the same discipline as playing an instrument. There's no added practice involved. It takes most people a few years to master it to the point where they can make whatever they'd like. What I'm doing here is called wedging. The reason we do this is to mix the clay thoroughly so there's no hard lumps or air bubbles in it. And that's critical before we use any of the clay on the wheel.
Looks like you're kneading it.
It's similar to kneading bread. Actually, we're trying to get the air out and mix it thoroughly so it's nice and smooth. And I will roll it up and use it like this. The whole object of the first step in throwing is to get the clay perfectly in the middle of the wheel. I want a different sponge.
And that's the throwing part, right?
This is called throwing. Yes, we throw the piece down in the middle of the wheel. And
This looks like a smaller setup than what I expected. I expected some big
what do you mean?
wheel. I don't know. I just like this looks really simple, like something maybe somebody could afford to have at home even.
Well, many of my students have wheels at home in their own studios and make things at home. Unfortunately, there's more than goes with just the wheel. You have to have, well, we're lucky in this area. We have a local source, Runyon Pottery Supply. So you can buy made clay, you can buy glazes and all the materials, wheels, kilns. But typically if you're making things, then you have to have a kiln to fire it in. That would be the more expensive part of it.
Yeah.
And then you have to have glazes, so it gets more involved than just making them. So the first process here, this would be large for a beginner to start at. Beginners usually start with just a baseball-sized piece of clay. The wheel is operated with a foot pedal, so by pressing down it speeds it up. By pushing down the wheel it stops it. You keep the foot on the pedal so you can control the speed at all times. It goes very fast. Many people go too fast. So this whole first process that I'm doing here is called centering. We always wet the clay first, so you have a layer of slip on your hands and it's always sliding.
Isn't that just water you're using?
It is just water. Working on the wheel or throwing is a very personal thing. Everyone does it slightly different. When I demonstrate for beginners, I emphasize the fact that you'll have to experiment and find a way that works for you because you're different strengths and different body sizes and everything. So the height you're sitting at, all these little variables make a difference, and you have to be willing to experiment. So my right hand's on the side, my left hand's on the top. I'm going to push down from the top and flatten this piece of clay out. I re-wet it to keep it slippery. I grab it from the side and pull this up. This whole process is called centering, where I'm pushing the clay down and moving it back up. And we wind up with a piece that spins in the middle without any wobble. I know that seems like it should be simple, but it takes most people a year to master this.
Wow.
It just takes practice. Now there are naturals that just sit down and say, okay, what do I do next? That would be rare. Now if you do a lot of things with your hands, like drawing, it's fine motor skill. If you're used to using your hands, it will come quicker. Okay, the next step is you're going to make a hole down the center. So you either take your thumbs together or you take fingers this way and you push down the middle. And basically what I've made is the thickness of the bottom of the pot. So I've gone down deep enough to leave that clay down there in the bottom.
Yeah. Don't want a hole.
Well, if you go too far, you'll have a hole in the bottom. Oh, there's a million ways to wreck them.
Yeah.
Most beginners find all those. Okay, re-lubricate it with some water on my hands. I'm going to open the bottom up by pressing this and sweeping open. Now this, I have to think of what I'm making right from the beginning. So this is the bottom of a bowl. Now I would take a sponge and smooth that out. I also like to take a sponge and keep the extra water from the side. Stay a lot cleaner.
Oh yeah, it must be hard on your hands, isn't it?
They get used to it, yeah, in the winter, especially when it's cold out. Okay, so we're started with the basic bottom of a bowl shape.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to re-wet this so it's slippery again.
Okay.
And now is the actually first pull of making the pot get larger. So I'm going to, most of the pressure is from the outside hand, and I'm pushing evenly and moving up at a very consistent speed.
Wow, it's just growing. That is so cool.
And that's why I say when most people see this for the first time, it's like, oh, look at
Oh, yeah, it just
really easy.
appeared. It looks like you're a magician.
I stop before I get to the edge, so I left a little clay at the rim. Make the rim out of. I re-lubricate the whole piece. And now I go back and do another pull. And now we're making it thinner.
Oh, that is just amazing. That's amazing.
It's fun. It's great fun. I think part of the satisfaction of making things like this by hand, as with anything that's handmade, is you take it home and use it.
Yeah.
You know, and you ate soup out of your bowl and you washing the dishes and you turn it over and it's your name on the bottom of it. There's personal satisfaction in doing that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's great.
Typically 3 pulls should make almost all pots. So the last pull here, I'm going to pull it once more. I'm going to make it a little wider. I'm going to stop right there. And then I'm going to take this and flare it to a new shape.
Oh, wow.
So you can see I just adjusted the shape. Finally, I would go over with a sponge and make sure everything's smooth. There's always some clay that we can't get with our fingers, and that's where you use the wooden knife. And I would take the point of this tool and shave that excess off the bottom on the outside.
Okay.
Now, there's a million ways to wreck things, as I mentioned earlier. You take clay and you have to stretch it too far until it collapses. And then next time you don't go quite that far. It's a process where you kind of have to bounce off the extremes to know what you can get away with. Clay is heavy. It's a heavy substance. So most people try and make it as thin as possible. And how do you know how thin you can make it until you stretch some as far as they can go? So that's part of the process. You're going to ruin some pieces as you're doing it. The fortunate thing is when you have a mistake and you ruin a piece, you wedge the clay like I did earlier and use it over again.
Oh, well that's what I was wondering.
And even the dry clay we recycle as much as possible.
I see you keep putting some back into a little bucket or something you have under there. And you can reuse it. Just do you just take some of the water out of it somehow?
Well, we add water, put it in a clay mixer, and then add dry materials in the right proportions to turn it back into work.
Okay.
I'll come up closer. I'm going to show you. I'm going to do some decorating. Much of the decoration can be right while we're making the piece. You'll be wanting to see the interior of this. I don't know if you can see it. Now this is slip or a different color clay. So if I wanted to put a band on there, I could easily just hold the brush still and do this.
And that will
And now
change the
this is a
color.
white clay base, so when I put a glaze over it, it will change the color of the glaze that's on top of it. So I can do decorating right while I'm making it.
Wow.
The fun part about this is if I move the brush when it's going around, I can do patterns in there.
Oh yeah, I see the patterns in there. Okay. Cool.
One nice thing about slip too is if you don't like the pattern you just did, you can erase it. And this is fun. So watch, I do a big swirl in it, just like that.
Does it make it like 3-dimensional when you cook that? Will that be flat again?
If I leave the slip thick, the ridges in the slip will change the glaze color, so it accents. We have some examples we'll show you in a minute.
Okay.
So watch, I'm going to do a spiral here that moves. So yes, this would all show up later. You don't have to use a brush. Watch, I can use my finger to do marks in here. Of course, what we emphasize here at the art school is for people to develop their own personal touch. You know, it should be an expression of yourself, not just making pots to make pots. but doing something that's meaningful to yourself. And that's the fun part. And if I don't like this design in here, you can see once again, I'm just going to smooth that out. So it's just simple as that.
Wow. Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun.
Okay. I'm going to stop this for a second. I don't know, do we want to do another piece? Or?
How do you get it off of there? Can you show that part?
Oh, okay. When we're done with a piece, we take a cutting wire like this. I stretch it tight between my fingers.
Okay.
Wind it around. Take my thumbs, press against the bat, and pull the wire underneath the pot.
Oh, that's how you do it.
Now the pot is too wet to be able to lift it, so we lift off this board, which is called a bat. And the bat is lifted. We put these on here so we can pick them up without distorting the pieces. I would put in front of fans for approximately 20 minutes. Some of that depends on the humidity. If it's dry out, they'll dry quickly. If it's in the winter, they dry quicker than in the hot, humid summer. And we rotate them so they dry evenly in front of the fan. When it's leather hard, we'll come back. Leather hard's a stage where you can handle the piece without distorting it. And then we tool the bottoms and finish the bottom off as nicely as the top.
Great.
Oh wow, so that was really cool. I've always wanted to use it.
I hope we get that pot done before the end of the show.
Oh yeah, me too. Well, let's go down to the events. Let's get that going.
What do we got today?
Well, this month we have February 25th. There is a Commedia dell'arte day. So join, it's some sort of Italian thing. Join Hole in the Wall Theater Company in the CDA 24-hour Theater Challenge. Our mass troupe will write, rehearse, construct, and finally perform a 100% original show in the style of Commedia, of course, within 24 hours. We begin the production process at 8 p.m. on the 24th, and at 8 p.m. on the 25th, this original production, CDA stands for Commedia dell'arte, that's how you hear Italian phrases, will be performed at the wonderful downtown venue, right here at the Flint Local 432. Admission is free, and donations will go towards Hole in the Wall Theater's art enrichment programs, allowing them to travel and teach workshops to schools. So that's going to be on February 25th for free, 8 p.m. at the local right here. Come check that out. Friday, March 1st will be the 4th Annual Michigan Medical Marijuana Conference, and that'll be actually March 2nd and 3rd in Grand Rapids. Will be another gathering of the green, so check out both of those if you're interested. That same Saturday, March 2nd, we're going to celebrate St. Paddy's Day early with the Irish Rovers. The Irish Rovers, for over 45 years, have charmed and entertained audiences around the world with their exciting stage shows. Ticket prices are $19 to $39. Check it out for more information. It doesn't say where. That's a really good show. Friday, March 8th, 6 p.m., Yoga Path. We'll have a candlelight curtain from 6 to 8 p.m., $20 in advance, $25 at the door. Join us for an intimate yoga experience with the same exquisitely illuminated, within the studio, exquisitely illuminated with candlelight. You'll be guided, I'm going to say these wrong, you will be guided through their asana practice while Mike seamlessly weaves a musical soundtrack that draws you into bhakti, devotion, and energetically supports your practice. You will be feeling connected, open-hearted, and filled with gratitude. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Yoga Path in Davison and Irish Road.
I do not know what that is, but it sounds really interesting.
Hey, promote it, might as well.
I'm honestly curious about that.
Yeah. March 8th, that same Friday, all day Monday, we're playing with The Last Summer down at the Keystone Lounge, 10:30. Check that out. Never Recover at Keystone Lounge. March 14th.
All Day Monday was on our show before too.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome.
Wow.
That was a couple months ago. We were in here though. Defend Education Day is March 14th. That's SDS, Occupy Colleges, hosting a National Day of Action against tuition and fee hikes. Go to defendeducationday.org for more information. There will be comedy, music, and mayhem at Machine Shop Friday, March
Oh, that sounds
15th.
fun.
It'll be headliner Keith Fields, based in Detroit, by United Kingdom. You can find hilarious comedy with amazing magic and a real English accent. So check it out. Also, Nathan Kranzo, who's on our show, is going to be there. He's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he's really good.
Jake Szymanski, Tommy Thompson, Lacey Wilhelm, MC Mark Roba, all for only $5, along with live music from Carl Art and the Madman. Doors open at 7.
We know that
Check that out. Everybody's been on the show.
Yeah, they're great.
Terror Amore or the Madman, they do
Yeah,
our
they're on
theme
that
song.
show. Yeah.
Pretty awesome. And the last thing on here I got is Jaybird presents the Ides of March, Friday, March 15th, 7 p.m., including a burlesque group called Maple Syrup, Arlozan, and Art from R.L. Simone and J. Roland. $5 cover. It does not say where. So check them out. Look that on Facebook. And that's all the events I got today.
You know, you mentioned that we're at the local now, 432, and so they're wonderful people. They don't charge us any rent. So anyway, we're upstairs at the local, and that what it has done is it has caused our cost to go way down. So if you are interested in sponsoring a show, be one of our sponsors. Well, it's only $10.
Only $10? What do they get?
And they either get a 1-minute commercial, either they can make it or we can make it for them. I mean, in a way, we can do a JPEG file, even a talk over,
Kind of
whatever they
talk
want.
over, yeah.
Or else they can have a 30-second spot, we'll play that twice.
Okay. That sounds like a pretty good deal for
Yeah, and the
$10.
money goes to the coolest grassroots organization in Flint, Creative Alliance. So anyway, and
So we got a few of those from this one?
yeah, let's go ahead and
Let's check out our underwriters.
right now.
Welcome to the Lunch Studio, Flint's fresh alternative. We've been downtown Flint since 2001. When we first opened, there were only a couple places downtown where people could get an affordable and healthy lunch. Now there are a lot more choices for the growing downtown community, and that's a good thing.
At the Lunch Studio, we serve lunches made with the best ingredients at the best possible prices and always with a smile. All our soup and chili is made in-house daily. We have daily lunch specials and delicious breakfast sandwiches too. If you're in a hurry or on a short break, call ahead, dine in, or grab it and go. We offer many healthy and vegetarian options, and we can also accommodate most any special diet. We also offer half of 2 different sandwiches in case you just can't make up your mind.
We buy locally whenever possible, and we're very active in the community. We are proud and excited to be a part of the revitalization going on in downtown Flint, a place that we have always loved. Here at the Lunch Studio, we think lunch should be one of the highlights of your day.
And we're back. It's always nice to see people that keep us going and keep the lights on and all that.
Yeah, don't forget, $10.
Only $10. We're here with our first guest. I'd like to welcome Linda Huston. She is the owner of VanDyke Photography over on Courtshire, just up the street.
Yeah, it's actually VanDyke Photographers, because there's other photographers that work there.
Okay, well let's get right into it. How many photographers work there?
Well, right now I only have one, but I do use some contract photographers as well. But my goal with the studio is to make it a hub for the arts, for the photographic arts. And there'll be, in the years to come, there'll be a lot more than just myself. We have to make a living, we have to pay the bills. So we have our bread and butter work, family, high school seniors, children, that type of thing. But at some point, I want to separate myself from that and have photographers all set in place to handle all the bread and butter work to keep the place running, so that I can do the things that I would like to do.
Awesome. What are those things? Do you want to open a gallery as well?
Well, I'm going to be doing some fine art, yes. I'm going to get involved with the art walk here at some point. I am also going to hopefully do some teaching out of there and
Cool.
have some meetups and do some, some portrait work.
That's awesome. I don't think there's enough of that in this community. I mean, that's one of those arts that kind of gets set aside by people and forgotten to
Yeah.
an extent. There's such a vibrant photography community in Flint. They really just don't have it. You're saying that hub. Have you taught the classes before, or?
I have many times. I have my photographic craftsman degree, which you get through the National Association of Professional Photographers, and it's for teaching other photographers. So I have classes that I have taught on facial analysis, how to look at someone's face and know how to put the light and how to improve it, how to downplay their faults.
animal
Very,
photography?
very practical stuff.
Well, that's kind of a full circle thing. I recently wrote a book on equine photography. Photographing horses has always been a passion of mine. That's what got me interested in photography, was photographing horses.
You know, I think I have a picture of the cover of that book, if you want to show that.
Oh, wow.
Great. So, where's that book available?
Well, it's going to be on Amazon. I'm jumping through their hoops right now as far as getting that published on Amazon. So right now I do have a digital CD with it in a PDF format because I've been doing some lecture. I have a lecture next month with the Highland Trail Riders Association, and I'm going to be doing a class on how to photograph horses as a fundraiser for that organization. So far we got about 30 people signed up, which is
Wow.
kind of cool.
Yeah, do you own a horse? That's a good
I do. I've had many over the years.
That's awesome.
Right now I have a geriatric board out there. They're all old and in their 30s, but I love them all. the
Good
same.
still models.
Yes, they are. They're still sweet. They're like pets. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, when they get that old, I have one horse out there I've had longer than my husband, so.
Well, I was wondering if that carries over to other animals. I mean, if you can photograph
sure.
a horse, could you photograph a dog? Or
Yep.
something different?
Yep, there's certain fundamentals and certain equipment that you need so that you don't get distortions. That's the biggest thing. If you've ever seen the large, long head or the big snoot on the dog, it's from using the wrong lens. And, you know, it may be a character shot, it may be a fun shot, but, you know, would it be something that someone would come to my studio and pay money for?
Right.
Probably
And the
not.
dog might be embarrassed and humiliated.
Do you get a lot of pet owners besides horse owners that want photography?
You know, for a number of years in the beginning, I did all of the pictures at Cobo Hall for their big dog show.
Wow.
So I have done, then they're done that type of thing.
Yeah.
So yes, I have photographed pets, and I'm good with pets. You have to have a certain personality for that kind of thing.
Have you ever been bit?
No, I've had, you know, catastrophes. One time I did a family picture with 6 corgis in it, and they all decided to have a brawl right in the family picture, which got all the family members screaming down at one another. So it was.
You took a
And
picture
I
of
was just
that.
very high there going, wow, this
Let's
is
make it
cool.
an art shot.
Yeah, you can put that on YouTube.
Yeah, that's
Maybe your
before
business
this
underneath it, you know.
Yeah, it's a challenge to say the least. You know, horses are like children. They get to a point where they've had enough. You know, they have their curiosities and they'll let you photograph them to a degree, and then
And then
next minute it's like, I'm
They
done.
can kick you and kill you.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's so true. And in my book, I do talk a lot about the safety factors. I put together horse and riders in a very romantic way. So, like with the cover that you see on there, I mean, you know, that horse could step on her head right there.
Oh, yeah.
So it's really important that you understand the safety factors
Yeah, you
in
have to
putting
make
a horse and
harness
rider
for it.
together. Well, there's 2 or 3 people
Oh, yeah.
holding the horse, you know, in case, because we were out by a busy road.
Wow.
Is that the horse's owner or is that
Yes,
mom?
that was her own. She was a high school senior,
She
actually.
felt comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and I too, I mean, being a horse person, I can know when I'm next to a Looney Tune. You know, some of them are Looney Tunes, you know, and you just have to know what poses to work with that, you know, horse and rider. You know, the same thing with the ones that are real quiet, that's when I can get all the creative stuff and do, you know, go to town and one right after the other. So the book kind of talks about all of those attributes to what makes a portrait safe too, as well as putting together lighting and all that stuff.
Are your favorite subjects, though, people and animals? Are those kind of your 2 favorite? Or do you
I love
think-
photographing women. I want to get into, you know, when you've been doing this for 25 years, you know, you get bored doing the same stuff. So I constantly am reinventing myself and trying to stay fresh with my work. So I'm into creating beautiful portraits of women of all ages. I gave myself an assignment here recently where I wanted to photograph 50, 60, 70, and 80-year-old women and make them beautiful. And so and I did it, and then I had a little show on those images that I had taken, and it was the funnest one was the 80-year-old. She was just so into the session, and she was just beautiful, and you know, it was just fun working with women with their inhibitions about themselves. We all have them, and you know, so and then I've been working at embellishing my work in oils, so printing them out on canvas and embellishing.
Oh, you mean so that it looks like a painting?
Yeah, so it looks like a painting. So I have my favorite painters, like Roya is one of my favorite. He photographs, I mean, he's a painter, he's not a photographer. He paints women in such beautiful, I mean, when I look at his book, it just makes me like, oh, so beautiful. It's what I want to do when I get the studio at more self-sustaining, position. Right now, all the photographers bringing them in, they have to comply to the quality of work that I want to put out through the studio. So.
When you're talking about painting photographs, though, isn't that kind of what a lot of people do now with their computers?
I do a lot of it on the computers, but even when I take the image, it's all about the posing and the lighting. Then I take it and I print it out onto, bring it into the computer, and I use a software called Painter. So I work with a pen and a tablet, and I go in and I add some painterly type effects to it to give it more impressionistic. I guess that's a good word. Then I set it up, have it printed onto canvas, and then I bring it back and add the texture so that it has some 3D to it. So that's kind of where I'm at, what I like to do right now. But right now it's still bread and butter. I'm trying to renovate the studio. The studio, VanDyke Photographers, was made in 1860. So
was it a photography studio then?
no, it was a home, I would assume.
Oh, so the building itself is from 1860.
60 it was
Needs a lot of
made.
work.
How long has it
Yeah.
been a photography studio?
Since 48.
I was gonna say, I can't remember when that wasn't there.
Yeah, it's been a long before you, babe.
So it was called
I'm ready.
Was it called VanDyke's Photography at that time too?
Yeah.
Okay, well, anyway, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's
but
been
you
there a
just-
long time.
So you just have owned it though for the last year or so?
Yes, just barely a year. So we've been renovating and painting and knocking out walls and trying to create an environment so that I can teach upstairs. There's been a lot of renovating going on. You get into, even like this building.
Oh, yeah, this one, yeah.
You can tell they've done a lot
Yeah.
of, positive things there. So,
Yeah.
the base of the studio has got tree trunks in it. So
Wow.
we found square nails. They haven't made square nails since like 1900.
Right.
Yeah, oh, wow.
It's been interesting.
We brought some photographs.
I did.
And I thought maybe we could look at those. You wanna start looking at
Sure,
photographs?
yeah, I can tell you a little bit about them.
We have the first one up.
Well, I'm a big family photographer. I love creating family portraits. I love to do lifestyles. I like to photograph families doing what they love to do.
Oh, yeah.
So this is what I would call a freestyle. It's not posed, so you kind of just throw them up there and move them around a little bit, get giggles out of them.
Where are they? Is that a place you chose or is it?
Actually, I have another studio in Fenton, and that's my yard. So I have a large yard that's all set up for outdoor photography.
Do you find that when you freestyle like that, you get a much better result from the people, like in terms of the real smiles or just, the family?
Well, it really depends on the family. I get people that just want to come in and they want a perfectly triangle, traditional portrait.
Sure.
When you start bouncing them around and stuff, they don't like it. So I have a consultation with my clients. So I find out what they want. I've been doing this long enough that they can't make a request of me that I haven't done. So, there are plenty that like that freestyle type of photography, and there are those who want traditional.
Sure.
Well, the people themselves, the tension and stuff. I know, like, I've been doing this when I get tense. You get people that you have to loosen them up a little bit. I feel like giving them a little.
Oh, you have to be able to report instantly. You have to be a people person to be a good photographer. You can't be a quiet person. You need to have a very outgoing type personality
You have to relax.
because they feed off you. Children, they feed off your energy. I did a 1-year-old just before I came here. They suck the life out of you, no doubt.
really?
But you have to be positive and up, and you have to be, complimentary, and you have to, you have to have instant rapport with them the moment they walk in the door.
Yeah, that would be
These are
tough.
people I've talked on the phone. I've not met them. And then I have my clients that come to me all the time, and they'll say, "Well, what can we do, Linda? Let's do something different. What do you got in your mind?" And I'll say, "Well, let's go to the beach, or let's go do them on your boat, or let's bring your antique car that you just bought. Let's do one all around it, or your motorcycles." Kind of incorporate their lifestyle into it. So,
Oh, that makes it so much more fun.
oh, for sure, yes.
What was the second one now?
Now, that gets into one of my equine pictures. This is a really difficult shot to do with a horse because there's a person holding, on the other side of the horse, holding his rear end in place. There's someone in front of that horse that has a line on him. I just took the line out of Photoshop so you don't see it. And then, someone with grain wiggling it, so he turns his head and looks at that person and gets his ears perked work
Yeah,
for. So
like, get
there's a
that-
production that give doing that
Yeah,
shot, and it's a
it's
cool shot.
synchronized.
I call it the wraparound. It has names. I also love doing executive work, or executive work to
Well,
that shot.
you want to go to the third one? The third one would be this one.
Yeah, the executive shot. I love to photograph executives, especially women in business, you know, in their place. This young woman in this picture is in charge of a really cool collaborative in the Detroit area, whereby she's trying to keep our college graduates here in Michigan. And so she got some major corporations to be part of this internship that resulted in hiring like 250 people that graduated either from Michigan State or U of M or one of the big colleges, trying to keep our talent here in Michigan because they're all leaving.
This looks like a great shot that she could use, maybe even on a magazine cover. I mean, this looks like something
Yeah.
very professional that you would want to
Speaks
put in
back
your
to your
picture.
light and the angles you were kind of referring to about how you did everything kind of perfectly. A lot of these have almost like an aura to them.
Well, there's glass. This is printed onto the glass, so it sees through them.
So you're looking through a plate of glass. when you
No,
put it there.
that glass is behind
Stops
her.
right there.
But you still have to consider all the light
I see.
coming into
Oh,
that.
I see, I
It's well
see.
shot, very well shot.
Yeah, I love the reflection in there too.
So I like doing that kind of work. And I know that the 432, is that what it's
Yeah.
called, 432 here? They have a lot of musicians and love photographing
Oh,
musicians.
that'd be great.
I just finished a project where I was downtown Detroit photographing jazz players. So I'm hoping to get that as part of one of my exhibits at the studio. That was a high school senior.
Yeah, I was gonna
but I
say,
had a lot of time.
This is to our fourth shot. Okay, and then he's a high school senior. He's got drum set behind him too.
Yeah, that was actually a national print that won a merit for me at the national level. So I was really pleased about that. I'm working towards my Master of Photography degree, and you have to compete at a national level, which means you're out there with about 12,000 prints. So it's nice to get a merit and,
Get
you know,
out there.
amongst the big dogs as it's.
Where do you get your degree from?
Well, I belong to an association called the Professional Photographers of America. There's about 24,000 members in that organization. And it's really well respected around the world. And part of your Master of Photography degree is that you have to earn 13 merits in the print competition and 12 merits in either going to educational venues or in lecturing. So I'm in need of 4 merits at this point. So we're working on it. We're close.
It's up there.
No, we want to look at the last one now.
Yeah.
Okay, and that looks like it could be another senior picture.
Yeah, I really like this
Just,
one.
just a nice portrait, you know, a nice quality little character, you know, has a little character about
But
it.
that must be tough for people that age, so.
It's very hard to, I mean, if I was to put any of you in this room in front of a camera and tell you, oh, be relaxed now, we're gonna take great pictures of you. Everybody goes through their period of, you know, like,
Freezing up,
yeah, being, you know, tense about the whole situation. So that's where that instant rapport comes in, you know. And the photographers that work for me, they have to learn the photography business from the inside out. I have 2 interns who've been with me now for 2 years, and I know they're just jumping on the bit to get out there and photograph. And no, they're going to feel what it's like to be in business, because that's what's more important than, you know, what kind of picture you take. I can teach you that in a week. You know, it's all of the business stuff that you need to experience over a year or 2. And so it's inside out, baby, when they come to work for me. Inside out. That's what I always tell them when they go, really, you got to do that? And I always say, oh, inside out. So.
Well, now, do you do other art photography that is not necessarily a portrait, but I mean, is you
Landscapes.
No, I'm not a landscape.
Like-
Every now and then I go hang with a friend of mine who's really good at landscapes, just to see, you know, just to experience a different kind of photography. No, I'm a people person, but I like pets, I like animals. You know, I've given myself projects, like when I was down in Kentucky last year, I went and photographed gates. I mean, they have the most amazing gates down in Kentucky, down by the horse park down there, that I went out for 2 days and did nothing but photograph gates. Now, I don't know what I would do with them. You have to step outside of your box. And, I'm a portrait photographer, that's what I like, and I enjoy animals and, you know, people. But we do some commercial things at the studio, some product stuff, small product. You know, again, it's bread and butter work, but that's, you know, it's all set up where you just put the thing in there, put the shot, put the thing in there. You know, it's pretty mundane, but
Do you want to run an art show there, maybe even at?
Oh, I plan on having an equine
You're part
show
of the
in
art?
September.
Awesome.
An equine art show. I have some great equine artists coming in. And I'm going to be involved with the Greater Flint Council and get involved in the art walks. I just have to have the studio done.
Yeah.
You know, all painted, and, you know, we're still fixing things and getting things to work.
So you think by the end of summer, we could probably have you back on the show and
I
talk
would-
about your upcoming.
I would love to do that,
That'd
yeah.
be great.
That would be fun.
September probably.
The equine show
Art
for
walk.
sure is going to be,
Art walk night.
I already started advertising for that because I wanted to get more artists in. That might not be all photographs because I do have some really good friends that are painters and that do horses, so. But most of it will be photographic arts.
We'll be
Keep
glad
us,
to have you.
yeah, and keep us informed because if nothing else, too, we'll also make sure we have.
Yeah, I like this $10 sponsor thing.
Oh,
This is
yeah,
great.
do that too? Yeah.
So,
Okay, great.
I'll talk to you more about that at the show.
Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Great, it was fun. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
And actually, talking about sponsors, oh wait, there is the live cam. We should probably,
Let's go to the live camera real quick.
yeah, let's do
Let's see
that.
what's going on with Guy in the studio.
All right, this is the kiln room. We have, well, I don't know, the changes. We're going to do an addition on here. We probably usually have about 16 kilns that we're firing. Once the semester starts, they're usually all going all the time. They rarely cool off. This is a large gas kiln. I know it looks kind of dilapidated, but when you take a kiln up to 2,400 degrees over and over and over again, it eventually just looks like that.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
kilns look like. I usually fire this at least twice a week. We fire up to 25 tons of clay here a year, which is literally thousands and thousands of pots. So these are loaded in. Today I will finish loading this. If I started it tonight, it would fire all night and all tomorrow, and then it would unload on Wednesday. So it's a 2-day
Wow,
process.
wow. That must be a lot of money to have it burning at that high temperature that
Well,
long.
we do try and do it efficiently. As you can see in here, I'm loading a bisque firing, which is the first firing. In the bisque, there's no glazes involved, so the pieces can touch together. So I can stack pieces, and I have to make sure, of course, they're going to clear. I'm looking, this might stick up a little too high. But you can see I'm going to fill this completely before we turn the kiln on. So I will literally have a couple hundred pieces in this kiln. So if you take the energy use and divide it by how many pieces we fit in, it's really not that expensive.
Okay.
Here's the firing. From the other classroom, this is one that's just cooling off, and once again, you can see
Oh,
our
I can feel
pieces
the
are
heat.
stacked up. This is cooling down, so we can unload it, and then we'll fill it up again with the kids' work
Is
that
that
you
a
just
butter
saw.
dish over there? That one's-
The butter dish, and then kids were making little polar bears. Like I said, you name it, we fire it. A variety of things produced in here.
Wow, little bears. Oh, that's cute.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
You never know what's going to turn out
Yeah.
on the shelf. So.
And these are finished products here.
These are actually empty bowls. The FIA participates in the, well, actually, I'm the one that started doing it here in Flint.
Oh, I bought one of those before for the.
Yeah,
on the
empty
shelf.
bowls is for the food bank. We
Food
raise
bank,
money for
yeah.
the food bank. It is now their single day, the largest single day fundraiser of the year.
Wow. When
Last
is
year,
that
we
again?
made, the students and I made 1,600 bowls. The event takes place on the last Thursday of September at the food bank.
Okay.
And we raised $37,000 in one day for the
Great.
food bank.
You know, I wasn't at the food bank when I bought my bowl. They were
No,
selling
we've
them
moved, in
somewhere
the
else
last few
too.
years, we've moved to the food bank, and it's been, actually, it's grown exponentially at the food bank. We have 35 restaurants that donate soup. We have celebrities sign plates, and we sign an auction.
Wow.
And then we have live music all day. It's really quite the event.
Oh, we'll have to go
Last
with that.
Thursday of September.
Okay, we'll have to make sure I go with that with my camera.
And we're back, and here we are with our musical guest. This is sweet Willie Tea. I bet you a lot of you have seen him performing. If you've been to any of the art walks downtown Flint, especially in the summer, get the little kids just dancing. It's so cute.
They do like
They
it.
dance.
They do like it. The big
Yeah.
kids like it too.
Oh, everybody loves it, but I love it when the little kids start dancing. I think I could get some on video too that you were.
They tend to tip better than some of the adults actually.
Oh,
I think they get their money from their parents.
Oh, that's how that works.
Yeah, usually.
Okay, great. Well, it's nice to have you on the show, but
Thanks, Jennie.
that's what
Nice to be here.
inspired me to ask you to be on the show.
Because you were a regular patron down at the art walk.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You should see her. She's with her little camera all over the place.
Yep, I'm everywhere. And I found out some really interesting things about you, though, after.
Really?
You've got a very impressive Facebook bio.
Really?
Yeah. And
Someone else must have written it.
Or it's just a made-up
Just
one.
kidding, yeah, made up.
It's just made made up stuff.
It's real, I'm sure.
Well, one of the things is that you collect instruments too, and
I do, and I brought some,
bring these
I
with
brought
me.
some with me. You want me
Sure,
to tell you a
yeah,
little bit
yeah.
about it? Okay.
Yeah,
Talk about this first one.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know that I'll play this today, but I want to show it to folks. This is a diddly bow. It's a one-stringed guitar. This is actually made with a cigar box and a broomstick and a piece of baling wire. Baling wire is something you used to wrap up hay bales with.
What do you do with one string?
Well, you play with the slide up and down here. And
Can you make it do something interesting?
well, I need to have the slide, which I didn't bring over here.
Oh,
I didn't plan very far ahead, I suppose.
Okay, well,
But this is a diddly bow. I usually play this as a part of my act. This is a more primitive instrument. The other one I brought with me is this fella. And this is a cigar box guitar. That was a cigar box diddly bow.
Okay.
This is a cigar box guitar or cigar box banjo, depending
Maybe
on how you
be
look
a
at it.
bass, it's only got 3 strings.
Well, this is it's just a regular cigar box. This is a Rolando Keys cigar box. We have a little. These are drain plugs so that the sound doesn't leak out. We have a little hinge here to hold the strings on and a bolt for the neck. These came into vogue after the Civil War because people made their own instruments out of just whatever they could find. And cigar boxes became common then because instead of shipping cigars in crates, they shipped them in little boxes. So these types of boxes were everywhere. This is a reproduction, of course. This is not a Civil War. A lot of fun to play. It's got 3 strings, tuned in an octave, and then a third note.
There's no place to plug it in.
The sound comes out here.
Okay.
This is, and it's just a stick through a cigar box. Very simple instrument.
Something you could play in a power outage.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Then this third one I brought. This is an old. These two are reproductions of modern instruments. This is an old cigar box. This is actually they call them factory seconds, which were defective cigars. They sold for 2 cents a piece.
That is
It's a
carpenter's
hinge from
nail.
something,
It's
yeah.
a nail, and it just.
Yeah. It's a pre-war neck that was stuck to this box, and I kind of rescued it.
You say pre-war neck.
Pre-World War II. Yeah. You can tell that it has no markings. It has brass frets on it. The tuners on the back here are not stamped metal, but they're actually welded pieces of metal. The tuning buttons are ivory, they're not plastic, which I don't know the history of it other than to give an approximate date and of where it's evident on it.
So how long do you think it is in?
No idea. Somewhere between probably between 1930 to 1940, something like that.
That's really
And I will play this one.
Let's go ahead and do that. You
Well,
want-
I'll play it over there.
Oh, okay, cool.
We'll set up and play some.
You're gonna play for us later on?
Yeah, of course. That's why.
Yeah, great. So what do you do besides the art walk? I mean, what are some of your other gigs? What do you-
Well, I play all over the place. I'm going to be at the Greater Flint Arts Council proper for the next art walk,
Oh,
which is
great.
March 8th.
Great.
The day after that, I'll be in a little place in Flushing, which is near to Flint,
Okay.
called the Rye Bakery. It's the Rye Bakery, right across from Kathy's Restaurant, downtown Flushing.
Oh,
Also called the Elmo Room.
yes.
Putting a plug in for my friends. Very small place.
It's a cool place.
Yeah, it's real small. It's a coffee shop and a bakery.
It's called the Russian Bakery, wasn't it, or something?
I don't know. I only know it as the Rye Bakery.
Okay, well, that's good.
It's a real nice place to come and see me because it's really small. Seats 20 or 30 people is all. I'll be there. Then I'll be at the Oxford Tap in Oxford, Michigan on March 22nd. Trying to remember all the dates I have coming up. And then if anybody's down in Key West, I'll be in Key West from about the end of March, the 26th or so, through the beginning of April. So if you come down to Mallory Square, I'll be busking on the square for tips.
Is that like during the college?
Every day's a college party in Key West.
Isn't that college break or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
We'll party. It's I don't know, the colleges go at different times, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it's usually it's a real fun time. The cruise ships, if you've never been to Key West, the cruise ships come in and there's a large pier, I guess, right there, and there are lots of entertainment. There'll be tightrope walkers and jugglers, magicians and musicians, and my friend Jeep will be there. He plays the banjo and has a dog that retrieves money and drops money in the bar. He has the best act.
Yeah.
He has the best act on the pier.
If he doesn't get enough, if big enough domination, does it don't bite them?
No, just
Okay.
And I think he makes the most money because it's really cute to see a golden retriever go up and just gently take dollar bills out of children's hands and put them in his bucket. And the parents keep giving their kids more dollar bills.
You're feeding the dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Stick this in his mouth.
That's my goal someday, to be able to work and just stand there with a dog and have the dog fix the money. But
That's great.
I'm not quite there yet. I have to actually perform.
Well, you know, it would be easier for you too, since you're pretty busy up there with all those instruments all by yourself. How did you start doing that? How did that happen?
It was an accident, really.
Okay.
I got in an accident and I hurt my arm and I was laid up for about a year, couldn't play guitar. I damaged my left hand and I spent that time practicing keyboard, practicing harmonica, and then when I got the use of my arm back, I decided to just focus on playing roots music, Americana music, a lot of blues, stuff like that. And and playing the cigar box guitars, which is another story. I can tell you how I got into that, perhaps another time.
Okay.
But the point was, I started doing this because there was a fella in Flint named Dr. Ross, called Dr. Ross, the harmonica boss.
Yeah.
He was famous all world over as a one-man band. He plays a rig very similar to mine. He has a bass drum and a hi-hat. He plays harmonica on a holder. They play guitar. I saw old footage of him, and then I got to meet his manager, and we started talking about it. And I had sort of stumbled onto doing the same kind of act that he did. And then once I found out that he was a Flint native, he was actually born in Mississippi, Tunica. He moved up here to Flint, and he lived here through his life and recorded up here. He did some songs. Probably the most famous one people might know, he did a song called Cat Squirrel, which was recorded by Cream back in the 60s. That was kind of his Cat Squirrel. But that was Dr. Ross, the harmonica
The
boss.
cat on one end and squirrel.
Yeah, I think the cat was chasing the squirrel.
Oh, and they're in circle. Well,
But I was inspired by him
Yeah.
to do that kind of act, and then it just sort of took off. And I play a lot of, like I said, I play these instruments, and I play just a variety of different things. I play a little kazoo and ukulele.
What seems to me that would be difficult is doing them all at the same time.
Well, I don't play them all at once. I only play them one at a time. The guitars, that's a joke. See, I play the drums at the same time I play the guitar, but I don't play both of these at the same time.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Oh.
We can edit that out later. See, it was trying to be funny, but I'm not as good at television as she is.
I was sitting there thinking to myself, I was trying to remember watching your act and see if you like played the harmonica and then the guitar and then the drums instead of all at the same time.
I do sing it. Yes,
That's what I was talking about.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, but I don't play all the guitars at the same time.
Told you, it doesn't take a lot to confuse me.
No, I'm pretty impressed. You remember the stuff from my bio, some of the things that I hadn't even remembered.
We played for some pretty famous people too.
Yeah, but they've mostly forgotten me, I think, over the time.
Well,
I've been able to open up for a lot of nice acts. That's kind of fun.
Who were some of the people that you would want to remember that you opened up for?
Oh, jeez.
Is
Canned Heat a while ago. Reverend Peyton and his Big Damn Band, which is a great act. If you guys haven't seen that, check out Reverend Peyton and his Big Damn Band. It's very entertaining.
Okay.
Lots of people.
Do you have any CDs of your own?
I do. Got a couple of them. Some from bands I had earlier. I just did a song or a CD rather as a one-man band.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Unsweetened No Lemon,
Okay.
which kind of goes along with my name.
So it's all good stuff.
Yeah,
All
some
sweet
of the stuff I'll play for you
All
here
happy
today. And, well, it's not all happy. It's a lot of blues music, but it's all pretty good. And then we're working on a new record right now we call Second Cummins. And Cummins is where, not Cummins, Michigan.
Oh.
That's where my family is from. It's up by Mayo
Oh,
and Hale.
I know why you
So.
named it that. Don't tell me that. Okay. Now then, where could
Look for that
people
at the end of the year.
find-
It's coming.
Where could people find your CDs?
Well, the online places, but easiest for me and most profitable for me is if you get them directly from me, which you can do at sweetwillietea.com. That's WILLIETEA. And put it right down here at the bottom of the screen so you can see it. WillieTea.com.
Great.
Easy to remember. And I put it on the front of my drum when I'm playing to make it easy.
Do you have samples of your music on that side?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just so people could, kind
They can
of.
buy T-shirts, they can buy Sweet Willie Tea cups.
That's merch,
Yeah, oh yeah. The tea cups are very popular because they're Sweet Willie Tea
huh?
cups.
Great.
I thought it was a good market.
Well, I think so.
I've got about 2 200 or 300 of them in case I'll cut you a deal if you want to buy them in bulk.
Great, great, great.
And the CDs too, if you want, but nobody ever buys more than one.
You know what, I should have told you to bring one with you if you
I
wanted to.
did bring one with me.
Oh, great, because.
For you, because it's a gift for you.
Oh, where is it? We're going to show it.
Well, it's over there with all my stuff,
well,
which
well,
I
you know
can't
what
go
I'll
over
do
there.
is
That's
I'll
in a
do-
different part of the studio.
I'll show a
so
JPEG of the cover of it, okay?
Okay.
The cover.
Look. Edit that in later.
Yep. So anyway, but what you could do is with, if you wanted to, you could have a little commercial. You give me that
Right
CD.
now?
No, well, not right now on this show, but maybe on the next show.
Okay.
You give me that CD, that will be, I always say
I'll
that's
give
for
you two.
$10.
3. I've got hundreds of those too.
And then but for the CD, it's $10, then you get a commercial. And then
Okay.
then we will sell that CD at the art auction.
Oh, and then will you give me the money too?
Well,
Because then I can
no,
get the ad for free. I like this. How about I give you 100 of them?
But I can't.
I'll be
give
happy to do that.
I can give you
I'd be happy to do
tickets.
that. I give one to the guys in the crew too. All you guys, I'm
Great.
gonna hook you all up.
Yeah, all
with
of
CDs.
us?
Yeah.
That's a lot. Oh.
Go back and do the whole like, tell the white
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. And then that cue card guy, I don't know, but he kind of thinks
He left, and now you've done it. I don't remember where I'm gonna play now, he's gone.
Oh, and you know what? The last thing we have, just before we show the.
I don't, because the cue card guy's gone. Go ahead.
We need to show
Right.
the last installment of our live cam. While we're here,
Okay.
there's another camera in a remote location at FIA, and they are,
Who dishing up the dirt on the art?
yes.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'd like to be there now, but obviously you can't because
No,
we're
right, but it's going on right now, and he just finished making pot, Guy Adamac, and then we're gonna have John Garrett talking about the art school.
Sweet.
Did you
We'll
wanna do that,
be
Garrett?
right back.
Yeah, and then you can be playing some music. Do you want to do that?
I
Or do you have
would
anything
love-
else? Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Did I try to sell you the teacups? I did that already, right?
Yeah.
The CDs, the t-shirts, T-shirts,
Yes.
TEA shirt.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
milking it
Cool.
unsufficiently.
Yeah.
That's it, but did I
Milk
spell my
shirts.
name again? TEA?
Okay.
No, that's all right. You get it. There'll be a little, a chyron on the
A
bottom.
caption.
Yeah, a caption. Thank you. But no, that should be it. And then I would like to play for you guys.
Yeah, no, I would love that. So what we'll do is we'll go back to the live cam, the other camera, and show the last little bit of the art school.
And I'll play you some
then when we
songs.
come back, you will be already sitting at your band.
Fantastic.
Okay, great.
Fantastic. I'll introduce the guys in the band to you later.
Okay,
too.
great.
That's a little joke.
And here we are with Jeff at the art school at the FIA. And he's going to tell us a little bit about that. Did you want to talk about the art school?
I'm Jeff Garrett. I'm the assistant director, one of the assistant directors at the FIA, and I head up the art school. And we're basically a school that's designed for community enrichment or personal enrichment. So we offer a variety of traditional studio art courses. For example, drawing, painting, oil, acrylic, watercolors, as well as printmaking, photography, now digital photography, and of course ceramics is by far one of our biggest programs. We have also recently added welding and continue to expand that program as so needed. And we average approximately 500 students per session. We have 3 sessions per year: a summer session, a fall session, and then a winter-spring session. And so annually we serve about 1,500 students annually.
Now, are these college credited courses or can anybody take them?
These classes are designed anywhere from 2.5 years old. Some classes start with 2.5 with a parent or a grandparent or a special adult, and then go all the way up until adult courses 65 and beyond. And non-degree granting institutions. So we're basically here just to help artists become better artists, or a chance for people to learn how to paint, draw, or make something out of clay.
And you've got a great facility there. I know you're right in the FIA, in the Flint Institute of Arts. If you come through the back door, I know you're on the left-hand side there before you get into the gallery. And I've walked through the studios, and they're wonderful. I mean, there's artists, all different genres of art. The welding, did you say that is that like for sculpture? A lot of people take it for sculpture?
Yes, we just started welding last year. We're able to add 5 MIG welders and a plasma cutter and various hand tools with regard to basically shaping and welding with thin steel 20 gauge metal. So we've ran approximately, I'm going to say at this point, maybe 7 courses, and they've all filled up really fast and been really popular. I think it's just something about this area, we love to work with our hands. And we, as you said, we have a pretty unique facility. I mean, we've been here for almost 80 years. I mean, the art school in general has been around for 80 years and continue to do more.
Did you tell me that you've been at school longer than there's been a museum here?
Correct.
Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, the Flint Institute of Arts actually started out as an art school, and then the collection started shortly thereafter.
And now I see you even have your own exhibit space too,
Correct,
for the artists that are taking the classes. That the Bishop.
Yep, we have a student gallery, which is it's called the Bishop Gallery, and it's located inside of the art school. And it's the mission of the gallery is basically to exhibit artworks created by students, by faculty, and by programs that take place within the art school itself.
And that's a big deal too, because I know, especially for new artists, to show your work, that's a big deal.
Sure.
Because that studio is accessible from the Art Institute as well, right? I mean, people can come in to look at the art in the art gallery, and then go into the Bishop Gallery and see the student exhibit as well.
Sure. It gives, it gives an artist or a student a chance to see their work in a new light. I mean, it always takes it up a level when you put it on the wall, or you put a light on it, or put it inside of a cabinet. But it also lets the visitor know of what students here are actually capable of, what we actually do here. It's a good outlet. We have receptions usually about every month. We try to switch shows up about every month, and so we have opening receptions, and they're well attended.
Do you
100+.
Do you always have them on the same day every month? I mean, is it something regular, or do we have to look for the announcements?
Yeah, you want to check our, www.flintarts.org and check our website often. But the opening receptions are always on Thursdays, or from 5 to 6:30. But it's not set specific. Like, it's not always the fourth Thursday. It's just whenever a show comes out, the next one comes up.
So we probably could go on the internet and see what your schedule is for classes as well, and all the different classes that you have.
Yes.
Is it expensive?
It depends on what class you take, but I would be quick to say that we have scholarships that are available. Scholarships always come out the month before that classes begin. So, for example, if classes begin June 3rd, that means from basically, let's say, April 30th to May 30th, scholarship applications will be available. And you turn them in before the session begins, so we can process them and disperse funds and let people in classes. But the average class will run anywhere from $100 to $300, and again, that depends on the medium. Of course, ceramics, there's a lot more involved with the cost with working with a medium, because the kilns and fire and blades and materials can add up. But for the most part, we're very affordable in comparison to other facilities in basically Southeast Michigan. We're good.
Okay, great. Anything else you want to add or talk about?
I would just encourage anyone to, of course, visit the Cultural Center and visit the Flint Institute of Arts. We're 7 days a week.
Sure.
Saturdays are sponsored by Target, so our traveling exhibitions or our temporary exhibitions, through the week there's a small fee to enter, but on Saturdays it's free. And of course, the Flint Institute of Arts permanent collection is always available and free 7 days a week.
Great.
We have 8,000 objects, 8,000 plus objects, and then of course the art school again runs Monday through Saturday, but the building's always open. You're more than welcome to come in and walk around and check it out.
Well, that was so much fun watching that clay pot being made, and I hope maybe we can come back and look at some other art. Maybe we can come and watch a welding class. I think that'd be cool.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay,
Sure.
great. Well, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
That's the only way you can spend your day. You got to work it away. So they say fine food. I got me a big old dose of that healthy attitude. The burning fire, like when Mr. Wesley said. I got a good dog, a good family too. I got a cabin in the woods, an ocean view. I'm a lucky fool. But it's true. It ain't about what you got, it's about what you do. Lord, Lord, that's what Mr. Wesley said. Do it now, tomorrow you might be dead. That's what Mr. Wesley said. Do it now. Do it now. That's what Mr. Wesley said. Mr. Wesley said.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, and here I am with Cameraman Pauly Everett, our graphic artist, our cameraman, our graffiti artist. Anyway, and also I want to say thank you to Linda Huston for being on the show and showing us her photographs. I want to say thanks to Guy Adamac and Garrett over at the Flint Institute of Art School. And we wanted to say thanks to Willie Tea. Hopefully he plays a few more songs for us, and you're ready to do the peace out. Peace out.
Wow.
you love me, Jesus, you can't do as much as I'm about to come with you. Stand with me for a few seconds more, and I'll wait for her outside your door. If he calls me for my final show, I say, sit me home and I'll take no one to go. I got this girl, you see, I love her so. I miss her too much, but I please get 10 seconds more. Since she's mine, and it's dream about always mine. And hesitate on the whistle rain, a second of land, a little time. My baby boy, give me a little more time. Time, 10 seconds more. All right, play it on. Happily so.
This next song is a song about how clueless men can be. This is called I Don't Know Why. And it's not autobiographical. No reflection on present color.
Now the hound. Oh, so